So this is going to be a side-by-side comparison between Quantum Gun, Stasis Beam, and Carbine. If you want to skip right to the test portion, you can use this timestamp. But otherwise, this is a side-by-side comparison destruction time style where essentially 3 different enemies of varying strength are going to be put up against these 3 weapons and basically see how long it takes for each weapon to kill them at different ranges with different pilots. So we got the full thing coming back. This took a very long time to record and edit. But yeah, the big question I mean to answer here is, is Quantum Gun a better stasis beam, and is it a better assault weapon than Carbine is? It's very possible, but we'll find out. So you may have noticed that Quantum Gun did not seem to have any damage fall off, and this is true. It is accurate to the weapon's description. It does not have damage fall off. I made some charts to better visualize the fall off of the other two weapons. So flashbang out. You can see the stasis beam pretty linear because, well, you know, it's very gradual damage weapon, so you'd expect the graph to be extremely linear, and it's very nice. The carbine is a little bit different. There's double damage chance involved, but with lots of shots it ends up evening itself out. As you can tell, the curve for Bastion ends up being much higher simply because it takes an extra reload. The reload time is what really bumps the total kill time up by a lot. This is given the legendary pilot, so this would have been even longer if it didn't have the legendary reload implant. This, though, was the crap of our data points from Quantum Gun. You can see they're all over the place, and this is what I was talking about. First off, Quantum Gun has a 50% double damage chance, which means when you're dealing with double damage chance, especially when you have a low number of shots, which 12 is not really a high number of shots, to be honest, so it's going to fluctuate a bit. It does look like the bottom two kind of trend upward, like there is some sort of fall off. Now, quite possibly, since this is damage over range, that trend upward is due to projectile speed, and it just taking an extra fraction of a second for it to hit the target for them to die. But then the Bastion one takes a really, really long time, and strictly because of the reload. If you were paying attention, that was the only time that it had to use 2 magazines to kill a Bastion while it had the legendary pilot and implants on. No. So the question then becomes, did I get unlucky there, or were all of the other times actually lucky? So, a little bit of quick math. This is the damage per magazine with the pilot and implants, 7984, times 1.5, which is the double damage chance. It's basically adding 50%. All of that multiplied by 1, which is the first shot that applies overheat that allows the rest to deal more damage, plus 11 times 1.5, which is the rest of the shots, plus the 50% overheat. That times 2 for the 2 weapons that we have, and we get over 400,000 HP. The Bastion that we were shooting at had just under 400,000, so we know that on average, we should kill this thing in 1 magazine, generally. So we know that that one was a fluke, and we can kind of ignore it. Now, what's kind of interesting, and part of the reason that I even made this test to begin with, because these are fairly unpopular weapons, but the overall TTK at different ranges between the different enemies seems to trend in favor of Quantum Gun. Now, here we are at 30 meters. You can see that the Quantum Gun is in the lead until it gets to higher HP, but again, recognize that is the point at the 30 meter mark. That was what we were looking at before. That is the point where it ended up taking an extra magazine, even though normally it wouldn't. So that point would actually be further down, and it would just be objectively better. It would be an objectively faster kill time than Carbine across the board on 30 meters. The same goes for the 65 meter, although it takes slightly longer on the weak enemy, the 100,000 HP. Double damage chances, like I said, it affects things, and the data points will move up and down, and Quantum Guns was a little bit crazy in places. So yeah, there is that. At 100 meters, Quantum is the clear winner because, as the others lose damage over range, Quantum Gun does not. Quantum Gun has 200 meters range, so not only does it have more range, plus status effects, plus everything else. This is not even taking into account the fact that the enemy hit is in stasis at this point, right? And you could shoot them at like twice the range that you could shoot a carbine. Not that it's super convenient because Quantum Gun projectiles don't fire super fast. It is fairly difficult to hit, I will admit that. And you might think, okay, well, that's just because you have the legendary implants. It's because you have the overheat implant for Quantum Gun, which you might have noticed at the very start. I had it at rank. I had that specific implant at level 5 because I guess the devs messed up somehow, and level 5 actually gives you a larger percentage than level 6 does. So I showed a little screenshot of the percentage progression through the levels of that implant as well, which you may have missed, but I did put that in there right at the beginning. But yeah, if you remove that and you use just like it, and we use the data points for just the epic pilot and implants, this also removes the legendary reload from Carbine, right? But here we see at 30 meters, Carbine is the winner after a point, after the 250,000 HP mark, which is fairly reasonable. I would say that would be an overall win for Carbine. I would say you get into the 65 meter, Carbine starts losing a little bit of value because the damage fall off. Still ends up winning over higher HP enemies because the Quantum has to reload, right? But yeah, it is close, but a little bit behind in terms of slightly weaker ones. And then, you know, at 100 meters, even with Epic, Quantum is the clear winner because it is, after all, a sniper weapon. So the main thing to know here, Quantum Gun is essentially an assault weapon. Essentially, it does a lot of what Carbine does, but better. The benefit of Carbine specifically is the uptime. That is why you'll see, especially with when it gets to dealing lots of damage, Carbine can deal damage a lot more consistently. The reload is very, very fast, and so you can do a lot of damage in a shorter amount of time. Whereas Quantum Gun has to, like, it dumps its mag and then you got to reload for like 8 seconds, which is, you know, largely unfortunate. But if you can mag dump and kill a Bastion, you know, how much of an issue is it? Is kind of the question that I'm having. So it's interesting, is really what I'm trying to point out. At the time of recording this, Quantum Gun is not available for A-coins, but it will be. And I think that it is genuinely a better option than Carbine if you're considering getting Carbine. You know, again, as of the time of recording this, it has not been buffed. It is garbage. It really needs some help, and it costs an absolute fortune in A-coins. So, you know, with the exception of achievements, which obviously require a specific weapon class, if you're just looking for like an interesting or a good assault playstyle, I would actually consider Quantum Gun over anything else. Which, you know, of course, mind you, this is Quantum Gun outperforming Carbine, the legendary assault, which would clearly outperform Fusion Cannon, the epic assault. So Quantum's going to be leagues better than the epic assault weapon, Fusion Cannon. So between the two, you know, they cost the same theoretically. I would definitely go for Quantum. But also comparing it to Stasis Beam, it is definitely better than Stasis Beam in every conceivable way. Having almost infinite ammo on Stasis Beam means nothing if your damage is so low that you can't kill anything. So at that point, I would say, you know, if you want a stasis build, go Quantum, don't go Stasis Beam. Either way, yeah, that's gonna be it for me. Appreciate y'all. Take care.